Hello everyone, I hope you're all okay. It is a gorgeous sunny morning, and this morning I'm down on the allotment and I'm harvesting my garlic. So my garlic has got rust, but I have just dug down and the bulbs are relatively big and I can feel the cloves separated. So I'm going to take all of these up and I'm going to take them home to cure, where I can put them on my patio where it's shaded. And then in its place I've got some pumpkins. So I've actually got one that has already flowered and is starting to grow a little pumpkin. So those are going to go in its place. They're going to go in this bed here, as many as I can possibly get in this bed here. And then I am going to save a few for this side once my first earlies are up. And then if there's any left over, I'm just going to plant them here, there and everywhere around the plot where I can fit them in. I'm going to try and get right underneath it. Let's have a look. Wow, that looks good. So that bulb is looking absolutely fine. There's no signs of rot or anything on there, which is really good. So I'm just going to go along and just take them all up and see what I've got. Yeah, that looks pretty good too. That doesn't look bad. It feels really hard as well, which is a good sign. So because the garlic has had rust the last couple of weeks, I didn't want to leave it in too long and give it a chance of anything rotting. So yeah, they look absolutely fine. Okay, so that's all the garlic pulled. Considering it had rust, it's actually done fine. I'm glad I made the decision to pull it up and put my pumpkins in, because it wasn't going to grow anymore. It did have rust, so that the growth does sort of stop. And because we're due thunderstorms and quite a bit of rain, I didn't want the soil to then get really wet and then be a chance of rot. So I'm glad I made the decision, because they're absolutely fine. If you look at this one, I can feel where the cloves are, so it's made a really nice head there. There's no signs of rotting at all. They all look really, really healthy and absolutely fine, considering how bad the rust was on the garlic. I'm really pleased with them. So I've just put them into piles of what they are, just so that these ones are a tiny bit smaller, to be honest. These were Eden Rose, so I'm going to keep them separated so that I can have a look and see which ones I was more successful with. These ones are a bit smaller, but I can feel the cloves there. So these ones at the end are definitely the most successful. These are really big, no signs of rot. They're absolutely fabulous. I mean, that's like the palm of my hand there, nearly. So I'm really pleased with that. And these were mesodrome ones. Again, they're not as big, but to be honest, they're not a bad size. I can feel the cloves there, they feel really hard. So again, I'm really pleased with those ones. So I have got in my polytunnel, this was the garlic that I had left over from the ones I planted out in the raised beds out at the front of the plot. And these ones have got no rust whatsoever. I planted a line of each variety from memory. There's no labels here, so I can't see which ones were which. So I'm going to leave these ones in the polytunnel because there's no rust on them. I'm going to leave them, they're completely green. So I'm going to leave them until some of the leaves die back and see what I get with these ones. But it'll be interesting to see the different of the size bulbs from the ones that haven't got rust to the ones that have. And obviously these have been in the polytunnel as well. So interesting experiment, and I'm looking forward to see how they do. I'm just next to as well my tomatoes. And look, this one has got a tomato. This is Orange Queen. So this is doing really, really well. It's quite big now. They're all doing well actually. I think I've got some tomatoes are starting to come onto this one as well. This is orange queen as well. Okay, so now the garlic's out, I'm going to plant as many pumpkins as I can in this bed. So I'm going to plant the smaller ones along the edge of this frame. So Vince put this up a couple of weeks back now. But I have actually bought 2 cucumbers as well, which I'm going to plant in the polytunnel. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to get onto the pumpkins. Okay, so I've got 2 cucumbers here, which I started off. And I'm going to plant them right here, in between these 2 tomatoes, because they can be planted with some string and attached to the top here to help with their climbing habit. So I am actually trying to clear out my greenhouse a little bit, because we're going on holiday soon. I don't really want anything left in my greenhouse because it will just die. Okay, so I've got 2 cucumbers there on the strings being held up there in the middle of all my tomatoes. It looks a bit crowded at the moment, but that garlic obviously will be going. And then I think I'm going to try and plant a couple of pumpkins in here, and then they'll help with a bit of ground cover, I think. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through my pumpkins, and I'm going to place them where I want them to be planted, and then go ahead and plant them. Okay, so I've just spaced these out. So there's 5 in this one, 5 in this one, and 4 in this one. So I've got some that can trail over the arch, and then I've got other ones here that have got quite a bit of room just to sprawl out onto the pathway if they need to. And then these 2 here, the Amazoncas, are the bushier ones. And then what I've got is I've got 2 butternuts here, which I'm going to put just at the front of the polytunnel, and then they can sprawl out if they need to. And I have got a few more at home believe it or not, in my greenhouse. And what I'm going to do with those is I am going to plant them. They are a tiny bit smaller, and I did want to wait until they were bigger to plant them out. So we've got a couple of weeks before we go on holiday, so I'll give them a chance to get a little bit bigger, and then I might just plant them around my corn as a bit of ground cover. Okay, so as I plant, I'll just go through what I've got. So I've got a snowman. So this is a white variety, hence the name snowman. Okay, so this one is Bambino. This is quite a small pumpkin, but it does have a trailing habit. So hopefully I'm going to have enough room that they can sprawl out. Okay, Turk's Turban. So this one's a funny looking one. It's small, quite strange looking, but apparently it's got a good taste. I've never grown this one. Okay, this is Amazonca, and this is the one with a bushier habit. Okay, this one is Sweet Dumpling. So this again, this is a smaller variety. It has got a trailing habit. So I've got 5 in this bed, and I have got quite a lot of room for them either side to trail. So although it looks like there's not much room in the bed, there will be, because they can actually come over the side and they can spread sort of like wherever they want. Okay, so I've got vegetable spaghetti, and this is a really light coloured pumpkin. Never grown this before. This has actually got flowers coming as well on there. Okay, I've got Table Queen. This is a big green one from memory. Okay, so then I've got 2 jack-o'-lanterns. Okay, so that's all the different varieties I've got. I'm now just going to plant these ones, which are just doubles of the ones I've already mentioned. This one's actually got a little pumpkin, like I said before. It's flowered and it's got a little pumpkin starting. This is the Turk's Turban one. So anyway, I'm going to plant these now, and then I'm going to give them a good water in. So I've got 2 of these butternut hawks, and I'm just going to plant them either side of this line of tomatoes, with the hope that they have a bit of a trailing habit and they have a bit of ground cover in between my tomatoes. That is the plan anyway, so let's give it a go. Okay, so that is now my 2 butternut hawks, 1, 2 either side of my row of tomatoes. It's my garlic harvested. I've got 1 Amazonka planted in the kids' bed. That's the one with the bushy habit. Okay, so that is my pumpkin patch now done. That is actually in full sun the rest of the day. So the sun is behind the apple tree, but it's only 8:30 in the morning. So as the sun moves round, it just comes straight down here. So they should actually be fine there. And then I have got some more at home, like I say, which will be going this side once the first earlies are up. So I just wanted to show you my courgette plants. They are absolutely loaded with flowers and the courgettes are already started. So I believe these 2 were different varieties from these 3. But look, there's just every single one of them has just got loads of courgettes on there. So I'm really pleased with that today. I've harvested most of my garlic. I've just got the stuff in the polytunnel left, and I planted all my pumpkins. So thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you again soon.